Hey friends, welcome to Chine Coaching. Rob here. In this video, we're going to learn about regrets, surprises, but also some amazing experiences that Simi had while she's doing her study abroad in the UK. Check it out. My friends, thanks so much for joining and tuning in. This is going to be a really fun video. Simi, who's studying in the UK, is going to talk about her student life experience, the hard things, the fun things, and help you guys know what real life in the UK is. Very different from the movies. Simi, first of all, happy birthday. Thanks for joining and sharing this on your birthday, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Rob, for inviting me over your YouTube channel. I'm so privileged to be on this platform and share some incredible experience that I had in the UK. I come from one of the most beautiful and, exotic places in India. Any Malus or South Indians watching here, I'm basically from Alapi in Kerala in India, and prior to moving in UK for my master's, I'm actually a BTech grad in computer science engineering, and then I moved to a totally different industry. I was working for the media, television channels, event management. I was an MC, a host, a channel presenter, and then after working for like 2 years time, I thought like, okay, it's time to take a real career step because I was not really interested with IT. IT was not my cup of chai. So I thought that I should just do something different, and I was fascinated with that business and marketing and stuff. So I took up my master's MBA, Master of Business Administration, specializing in marketing from MG University, and then luckily, right in my third semester, I got placed in one of the most prestigious organizations in India. For people in India, you might be very familiar with Oyo Rooms. Oyo is also a very good company, well-known company in the UK and US as well. So I was working with the sales and marketing, and I worked for there for like 8 months time. And then I felt like, okay, it's time to actually spread my wings out of the horizon and move to a different part of the world. And UK was something, in my dreams, and I never thought that I'll make it to UK, but here I am doing my master's in international marketing in one of the most beautiful cities in the UK. I'm in Northampton at the University of Northampton, finished my classes and about to step into my placement year and hopefully start working very soon. I'm also working, like I'm already employed here, I'm working on part-time basis, but now to really hit the job market, waiting for good opportunities. Yeah, that's it.
Simi has also shared in a separate video about the job situation, job opportunities, working on a student visa in the UK. So be sure to check out that video. We'll have the links for you guys on that. But let's just jump in, Simi, about life in the UK. And let's just start out, what was maybe some of the biggest regrets that you've faced there being an international student in the UK?
Regrets, I just had one regret, Rob, just one, and that's the end of the story. Because just like how I told you, like my life in the UK, it's been amazing. But it's not something that you see in the movies or what your coaching classes you have from India. That's not it happens, but not for everyone. Like if you're like filthy rich, okay, you're gonna have something like the Bollywood movies show you, like life in London. But trust me, if you come like a middle class family and who is actually want to study and make a good career here, then you'll have a tough time in the beginning. But after that, if you're like really good with your career and if you're like really focused and really hardworking and proactive, then things are going to be good for you. So my only regret here in the UK is like I miss my university. All the students, basically Indian students who come from middle class family, I bet that you can relate to this, because moving to the UK is like one big life changing decision that everyone will have. Like in terms of the career and in terms of money is actually the biggest part. So invest a lot of money, maybe like lots and lots of money, to make it to UK and for your studies here. So, the amount of money that you pay here and the kind of education that you get here would have been really good if the coronavirus didn't hit bad in the UK. So because of the coronavirus, I miss my university. It's just been like 6 months that I actually went to the university, and then everything was online. So I missed a lot of university events. I missed the holistic experience. University is not just about the assignments or the grades or the classes. It's a holistic experience, the kind of events, the kind of cultural meetups you have, the cultural exchanges, socializing, hanging out with friends, understanding what the other culture is. So I think that's the biggest regret that I have, and I really, really wish to get, and I know that I'm going to get back there because obviously my university term is over, but I really wish that I could just go back in time and do my university again, because it was such a fabulous place, trust me.
What about the struggles you faced? Obviously pandemic, coronavirus aside, as an international student in a foreign country, foreign culture, what are some of the struggles that you or other students face there in the UK?
So I'll be talking from like from a generalist perspective, unless and until you're like filthy rich, and if your parents can give you like a lump sum amount in your bank account, life in UK is gonna be really a struggle. Like till you find a part-time job, because the accommodation is really expensive in the UK. The public transportation, that's really expensive, and you can't just get a car or anything. Like once you have to depend on the public transportation. So, and you can get a bike here, but obviously if you're staying really far from the university, you have to take public transportation. So definitely life in the UK is really expensive. So finding a part-time job was the greatest struggle that I had to face, because initially, the kind of job that I'm doing, I didn't get it like in the first chance. I had to do like the normal student jobs, which is like a real struggle. Even if every job that you get here is like a real struggle. You have to go through the entire interview process. Be it any job, the interview process is the same. The hiring is the same. So people actually look for the right kind of person to the job. So in terms of finding a part-time job, that was the first struggle that I had to do with. Then the kind of struggle that I actually had was, it's a very funny thing to share, because back in India, I just thought that, okay, before knowing about what's happening around the world, what I thought that there is just one English and that's it. And then as gradually I grew up watching all the movies, okay, so there is two types of English. There is American English and there is, okay, British English. But since, I have come from an ICSE school, which is like mostly the English is British English. So I thought, okay, I have a background with British English and I'm going to have a good time. But then after landing here in the UK, every single county in the UK has a different accent. So if you go to London, it's a very posh accent, and which is more or less similar to the kind of English that we see in the movies and web series. But if you go to Scotland, you even feel that, oh my God, am I still an English speaking country? Because that's a really tough accent in Scotland. There's a Birmingham accent, and there is like Manchester accent, and the place that I live, Northampton, it's a very tough accent. So, getting to know your people, especially, the place that I work with, it's like multi-diverse. I have people from different parts of the country working together in the same office. So trying to understand what they speak up. The tutors are fine because they are more like used to international students. So they kind of, get the accent, use the accent. But talking with the common people, getting to that accent was like the second struggle. And then finding an accommodation. So you have to be proactive in that, because some people will think that, okay, I'll stay like a few days in the hotel and then find an accommodation here, but it's gonna, you have to pay a fortune to stay in hotels here. So you have to find a good place of accommodation, and so accommodation, part-time job, and the kind of understanding about the English accent was some of the struggles that I faced.
Thanks for sharing that. That's probably stuff some people have never thought of before.
Yes, no, English is totally different here, different accents,
And one big difference with the UK is the master's programs are only 1 year, or like America, it's 2 years. So what are some things that you've experienced and you want to recommend to others on how to make the most of that 1 year time for their master's in the UK?
Yes, Rob. Master's here is like just 1 year, and it's just in the blink of an eye, it just goes. So what I tell people is that some people will be like, okay, I'll just spend some time hanging out, seeing places, and then the next semester I'll actually start studying and find jobs. That doesn't work here, because 1 year is nothing here. Like right from the day you land in here in the UK, you have to be proactive. Like my most favorite word that I use when students ask me like how to move to UK and find things here, be proactive. You must be prepared. You have to prepare your mind to be like, okay, I'm going to have a tough time here. I'm going to have a struggle here. So be prepared for that. And also your time is very limited. Within that 1 year, you have to make, every single day matters. So master's goes within 1 year, you'll have your online classes, you'll have like a whole lot of assignments is really something that's not very easy that you see from India, because India assignments is just like copy paste on the Wikipedia or copy from somewhere sources. But trust me, that's not going to work here. You have to really spend hours and hours of researching, writing, modifying to actually get good grades. So within 1 year, you have to go to the classes, write the assignments, modify the assignments, and then, get involved in the academic events. But then also there is like a lot of academic events in the universities happening, because my university is actually multi-diverse. I have people from not different countries actually. I have people from different continents, like in my class, like Africans, Americans, Australians, Indians. So it's basically a cultural exchange happening here. So within that 1 year of time, you have to do all these things. So don't waste your time. Just do whatever you can do. Like make the best. Like when you have your time in the universities, some people will be like, just going back home once the class is over. Don't do that. Sit inside the university, explore what's there, the library, the other online resources. Talk to people. That's what I do. I talk to people. I understand, their culture. So I think all these things matters down the line when you actually go up to the job market, where socializing, especially if you have a career or if your degree is based on marketing, finance, accountancy, your soft skills, your interpersonal skills matters a lot. So masters is 1 year, the most crucial time of year. You will still have time to see your London Eye, the Big Ben, or the Scotland, the Harry Potter movies, everything you will have time. But the 1 year, just make 1 year.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it for sure. Simi, what's maybe one of the big shocking surprises that was for you there in the UK that maybe you didn't expect?
Okay, so that's a really fun question. Like, for people like us who are from India, whatever that we see in the movies is the impression that we get about, English people or the British people. So I was like, okay, I come from India. Like, I was pretty good with my academics back in India, but if I come here, or the people are going to be really smart, I'm going to be like treated as inferior, or people are going to sideline me. But it was a shock to me that I realized that not everyone is as smart, not everyone is as good that you see in the movies. There are like really stupid people here in the country as well. Like every other country, there are like really smart people, and there are stupid people as well. So that is not something that shocked me at all, because
that's just the world.
That's just the world. So I had all these prejudice things, like people will treat you based on your skin color or based on your accent, because Rob, you might be knowing about the Indian accent is right, right? So we'll have that, but that mother tongue influence in our language. But trust me, you should be good with English, because everywhere in like when Rob was there in India, you should definitely know Hindi, right? So any part of the world. So if you go to Germany, you must know German. If you go to France, you must know French. So obviously, when you're in England, you must know English. So English, even though we have that in Indian accent in our language, if you're good with people, if people can clearly understand you, and if your body language is good, then people are going to treat you the way they treat them. So that was also a big surprise for me. Like I used to talk to people with Cloud. I was curious to know about their culture. So I got the same back. They were curious to know about my culture as well. And they were like, oh, India is like that. You have this thing in India. I'm like, yeah, that's how India is. So that's the attitude of the people and the mindset of the people. That's not what I thought that really was. So that's something that shocked me. It's just like there are a bunch of people who have a different skin tone and who have who speak a different language. But in the heart, everyone says the same. Everyone treats you how you treat them. So that's something that shocked me. Yeah.
That's some good advice. So our chat question for this video is, which college are you guys interested in studying in the UK? Let us know in the comments. Simi, you want to say one more time the college that you're studying there in the UK?
I'm studying at the University of Northampton. My courses, Masters, MSc in International Marketing on a placement route. Like there are two options in the placement route and non-placement route, but the placement route is something that Indians go for.
Awesome. So there's so many great universities there in the UK. Let us know which one you're interested in. Share in the comments so you guys can dialogue some more there. And kind of our last thing we want to cover in this video, Simi, is you've actually had some pretty amazing experiences there. So what are some of your favorite things or your highlights from your time there in the UK that maybe can inspire some people?
Yeah. So for most people, lockdown is like the most boring part of their life or the toughest part of their life. But for me, I have a totally different story to share, because like any normal person, the lockdown was kind of excruciating at the beginning. I was like, I'm going to sit here, wait till death comes here to eat us, and we will be sitting inside without seeing our parents. All these things were totally overwhelming. But as things changed, as we came to know that, okay, this is going to be the new normal, I told you, being proactive is my favorite word and favorite adjective that I speak to everyone. So I thought that, okay, now it's time for me to be actually proactive. So when I told you, like when you have your master's course going, you don't have time for everything, especially people who go to jobs. You have to, attend the classes, assignments, then do your part-time jobs. We didn't actually have time to get involved in a lot of other stuff that the university was organizing, like the cultural meetups or the social media stuff. So I was actually selected as a social media ambassador by my university, but I couldn't actually do anything about that because I was already busy and occupied with a lot of things. So this lockdown was actually the time that I actually explored the social media ambassador duties and roles, because I had a good rapport with the international office, and we had like a lot of things planned up. If there was ideal situation, then we had like a lot of things planned up when the university reopens after the Christmas vacations. But unfortunately, those things didn't happen. So I, took up my role as a social media ambassador, and I had some of my most amazing things happening. I was featured in the BBC radio like a month ago, and I told you I come from a media background back in India, where when I was working with the local channels there in India, BBC was something that I will never dream of. It was something out of the world. But here, through my university, I got to be featured on the BBC, talk about the struggles of international students, facing here. That was something incredible, and something that's not stayed in my life. So that's the first biggest thing. And then there was a competition organized by the social media team, the marketing team, about sharing your articles, your student experiences during the lockdown. So my article was featured in the British Council of India's Facebook page. So that is also another big achievement that I would cherish for my entire life. And then I'm being featured in one of the most famous and amazing YouTubers in America, Robert Adams, sharing a screen with Robert, and sharing some incredible things with a cup of chai. So I think, and then also I had always this instinct in me that I have to do something good for the society, but we are all busy in life, we don't have time to do that. So I signed up with the NHS, and I became an NHS check-in and chat volunteer, like talking to people who are isolating because of the COVID, who are like alone in their homes, especially the really old people who have to depend on their kids to get the basic grocery and stuff. So they'll be isolating at home. So that is something that actually opened my mind. Like I actually fulfilled my purpose in life or something like that. I'm talking a lot of people over phone, understanding them, being empathetic about their situation. So some of the most amazing things happened during the lockdown. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, this is definitely a unique time, a difficult time, but opens doors for new opportunities. And I'm so encouraged at how you've made the most of that and had some really fun things to do instead of having just struggles. You're also having some good memories that you're making as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that it is going to be the new normal, Rob, but we have to adjust with that. And you have to, like, there's a very famous saying that if you ask a farmer that what will he do when the storm comes, what he will do, he'll go inside and he will sharpen his tools. So I think that is something we all have to do. It's now time to get inside the home and sharpen our tools, because at the end of the day, this coronavirus is also going to wipe out from the world, and the world is still going to be back to normal. So what did you do during the lockdown? So I think for all the students, that is one tip that I'm going to say based on my experience with interviews done so far. Every employer is going to ask you, what did you do during the lockdown? And that is something, just like how they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years time, or introduce yourself. This is going to be a very cliched question from now on. What were you doing during the lockdown, and how did you manage with the COVID-19 crisis? So be prepared to answer that.
That's an amazing question. Yeah, what did you do in lockdown? Let us know. Put that in the comments as well. Would love to hear what you guys did in the lockdown. Simi shared some great examples, very inspiring. And thanks so much again for hanging out, reaching out, and wanting to help other people and sharing this great advice for others.
Yeah, happy to be here, and I hope this, some of the things will help out people who are, planning to come to the UK.
Yeah, I learned so much, and you guys, if this was helpful, give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Simi, and don't forget to subscribe to Chai Coaching. We want to help all of you guys in your cross-cultural journeys wherever you go in the world, and yeah, we'll connect with us online. We can answer more of your questions there, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time at Chai Coaching. Cheers.
Bye.